So today I want to take a moment and talk about icebreakers. Now, I know, many of you hate them, but I love them. Icebreakers really are an extrovert's dream, and I know they are an introvert's worst nightmare. Now, one of my favorites is called Two Truths and a Lie, where each person takes a turn listing 2 true facts about themselves and 1 lie, and then everyone else tries to decide which one of those is the lie. And while I love facilitating this game, I will admit I am notoriously bad at sniffing out the lie. I'm often surprised by which ones are true about people. And there's a similar scenario in the book of Genesis, but with one extra truth. Genesis is the first book of the Bible, and in the beginning, the book describes how God created the world and his relationship with the world and the people in it. And so in Genesis 1, we read, "Then God said, 'Let us make human beings in our image, to be like us. They will reign over the fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, the livestock, all the wild animals on earth, and all the small animals that scurry along the ground.'" After God made the heavens and the earth, the sea and the sky, the creatures that inhabit them, he made us. So true statement number 1, we are created by God. Then the following verse says, "So God created human beings in his own image. In the image of God, he created them, male and female, he created them." We aren't just created by God, we are made in his image. So true statement number 2, we are connected to God. The next verse goes on to say, "Then God blessed them and said, 'Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and govern it, reign over the fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, and all the animals that scurry along the ground.'" So in other words, humans, you're in charge. You have a purpose. And that leads us to true statement number 3. We are called by God. The lie comes from a serpent, which, let's just be real here, of course it does, okay? Snakes are nasty. If you have a pet snake, I'm sorry, I cannot trust you, and that is a truth right there. And so the snake convinces the woman that if she eats the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, the only tree in the entire garden that God has asked her not to eat from, then she would be like God. But lie detector alert, she's already like God. Remember that first verse that we read? Because when God created humans, he created us in his image. We do have an enemy who's lying to us. Just like his lie to the woman in the garden, his lie sounds like this. If you just had this thing, you would be complete. If you just had this job, this relationship, this status, then you'd have what you need. But that, of course, is a lie. We all know that contentment is never found in things. It is only found in God himself. So this week, go to God's word. Replace those lies with his truth. Instead of finding our identity in something or someone, remember truth number 1. I'm created by God. Instead of looking for belonging and affirmation in places that we can never fully find it, remember truth number 2. I am connected to God. And instead of looking for a purpose in the pursuits that won't ultimately fulfill us, remember truth number 3. I'm called by God. Wherever you find yourself in your spiritual journey, maybe for those of you still exploring or starting out, all the way to those of you considering yourselves spiritual ninjas, dwell on those truths this week. Bring them into your slot and spot, your daily time and place with God, and ask him to affirm these truths for you and to point out where you may be believing a lie.
Thanks so much for tuning in to Thought in 3. If you enjoyed this content, make sure you subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with everything happening at The Journey.